Hey everybody. So, good morning if you are in Pacific United States, and good afternoon if you're in the Eastern. Good night if you are in Europe. Oh man, you got who like my sleep, man, my sleep. Who's been sleeping funny lately? There's a lot I want to understand. But something shifty was going on yesterday. I think it had a lot to do with, I don't know if it's full moon related. I haven't been keeping track of these moons, but I think I want to keep track of the moon cycles because I noticed every time that there is some type of moon, my sleep is f***ed up so bad. I'm waking up at all times of the night. My bladder is just, overactive. I've tried so much to just get some good rest. Like I did Epsom salt, foot bath yesterday while I was in the shower, and that managed to at least knock me out. But then I woke up like I went to bed at 10 because I have to be up at 5 Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then I woke up at 2:30, like boing, like ready to start the day. And I look at the clock, I'm like, shoot, it's only 2:30. So I just laid there. But then it occurred to me that my heart was feeling like I'm going to be correcting a lot of us because a lot of times, sorry about the tinging, a lot of us, we're so quick to say, move it, zipper. Maybe this will work. A lot of us are so quick to say, God was talking to me, like my aunt. I love you, Auntie Jan. God was talking to me and he said, and it's like, well, but God doesn't talk. He doesn't talk. God's voice wasn't his voice in the Old Testament. That's why there's a difference between, you never hear God's voice in the New Testament. You never hear him. It's all red quotes that is from the Son. And the Son had the message of intuition. Those were quotes of knowledge. Anyways, channeling and me are like BFFs, I swear to you. I had a lot of messages on when you wake up at night. It's almost, it's not to say like repent as in like the religion, Christian faith, based repentance, but in general senses, manifest the healing process of those who are suffering, because it's the suffering of people during those hours that we are being called to do something about. And I didn't realize that till yesterday. Like I had a dream about me and my dad. It's a metaphor. And my dad was walking me down a street. And this street was like an old wilderness, street. And we went to this I was looking for his house that my sister was in, and she just had a baby recently. But I was trying to see my niece for the first time. And he walked me down this weird path. I ended up being in, I don't know, the southern parts of the United States, down south. And it was weird because I saw this river of icebergs. And I kind of know what that means. All that ice and blizzard and snowstorm is eventually going to turn into rivers. And it's going to be very catastrophic. So I guess that is a prediction that, if you're in those snowed areas, you really need to start preparing yourself for mudslides and landslides. There's going to be a lot of land shifting. And it has a lot to do with eclipse 2 years ago. that area was a direct, target. The question is, what is hiding in that area for an eclipse to mark that territory? Anyways, but back to my topic. There's a lot of suffrage of people during those witching hours. And it occurred to me that I don't do anything for anybody during those times. And it's like I just kind of wake up like grumpy, like, nah, I didn't sleep. And then I look like, I look like this. It's kind of annoying, but I understand it. I understand a lot of things now. Like I was even talking about how, because I was sharing a story about, past and addiction. And I'm trying to be more comfortable talking about it now because it's the only way to heal myself and to, know that the battle of that is, the battles still are energetic, but they're not physical anymore. But I was questioning, why was I caught up in that situation? I know like I had family members who had, I guess, hexed me with a curse because they used to put their hands on me, they used to punch me, a lot of physical abuse. But I know like as a star seed, a light being, I was absorbing everyone's shit, excuse my language, and I had to carry it out at some point in my childhood. I know that me being 36 now, the number, it means a 9, so it's a completion of whatever the journey was. When it starts off as a 6, that means, so at 24, I started this spiral of up and down, and then 36, beginning of this year, was like, you know what, energy, come on, but I'm not going to be stupid, and I'm not catering to that energy. It's a closed chapter. Not saying that was going on in January, but it took from 24 to about 31 to just, and then my awakening was in 2012. So going on that awakening experience, it was kind of like the final 3 years of purging that experience. And if you do the math of, what is that, 2015, when I had to move, I moved out of town just to totally like dump this bad, horrible energy that I have absorbed from the whole city of Los Angeles, essentially. Yeah. And that's a 9. 2016 equals a 9. 2015 equals a 9. So I just look at how the patterns and numbers are. And Nikola Tesla is, a mathematician, so he knew that the powers of life, or the quantums of all the things that be, are in 3, 6, and 9. So it is what it is. You guys already know this stuff. Yeah, so waking up early in the morning, I'm knowing now to go back. Oh, why was that happening in my life? Those shadows and phantoms of old self and fighting off addiction. Well, it's because it's part of the ascension process. It's intended. It's no coincidence. Some people didn't even ask for these harborings of things that they had to go through. Or, like when people hoard stuff, they take on, like, they have all this crap in their living room. I was being revealed that a lot of those issues are a part of ascending people. Maybe it's those around you, but when you amplify that type of energy of unawareness to the fullest extent, when someone becomes aware, it's kind of like a slingshot. Pow! That's what I was explained. It's really not for people to do that on purpose. Like for those who, they smoke pot and they vape, that's actually a descending process. Whereas those who took on other things, it was really about the body and the DNA changes and acceleration of the ascension process to beat the body from the descending process, if that makes any sense at all. It's kind of like tortoise and the hare. You have like your body, the DNA of your regular body being the tortoise, and the negative experiences you put yourself through was the rabbit. Actually, no, it's the other way around, because the tortoise won at the end, right? So if you look at it in that metaphor, that one process is slow and the other one was like rushing, but at the end of the day, it was the natural body that, you know, there goes my channeling hiccups. So I hope that makes a lot of sense, you guys. I like to draw it on paper because it makes more sense when you lay it out, but I'm driving to work and I just feel like someone could benefit what I'm saying, because I know a lot of people are going through a lot of crap. And I know star beings and star seeds and light beings and indigos. You all are not perfect people. Let me get over you, dork. We're all not perfect. And in the eyes of people who view us, they're like, oh, you're just so sincere. But they don't really know what we're struggling with and what's going on inside. There's a lot going on inside. And knowing the things that we know, it's like even harder that, you know, it's like, how can we help change the world or make these edits to the world when we have kids to raise and we're still check to check, and, you know, our friends are, you know, being stupid. Like, I was laughing yesterday. I was telling a group of people like how I always have like one friend a week volunteer to be stupid. And it's not like I'm calling them stupid. They just do something that's like, now why would you step out to do something that humiliating towards myself or other people? Like sometimes, like I have friends that will tag me on Facebook and they'll put something like the other day, someone was like, the man that you so support who's running the country right now just did this, and, you know, we should hate him. And I was like, I don't support him. I just support the fact that we shouldn't hate people in front of others witnessing that we're hating someone, because that is called judgment on self. And we don't know what the hand of the Father is doing. Like I understand the whole puzzle piece, and actually I had a strange epiphany yesterday, which doesn't make him a good person at the end of the day for what he's going to do, but it just depends how it goes. But then it may not even matter, because we might even not even be here when it happens. So it's like a weird, it's kind of like a one of those movies where it's just an alternative. There's so many different endings that we just don't know. And it's just best to just be content with yourself, have some mindfulness, have some clarity. Don't freak out over all that crap. It's just, it's not worth it to be so uproared over everything that is being told to you. And a lot of times we have to ask ourselves, why are we being told this information? Versus, you know, finding out the source of information yourself and then seeing it for the horse's mouth and what he said. It's a lot of times, like, we don't see what people say. If they're supposed to be, you know, this or that, racist or whatever you want to call it, I want to watch the video where he says that. I want to hear where he says that. And then I want to hear that person be accountable for their actions. 9 times out of 10, they won't be accountable. Like I'm just rambling now. Like the Lori Loughlin school scandal thing. I actually knew her. I know her. I've met her a few times because I worked in Santa Monica area. Santa Monica, if you don't know, Los Angeles is a very popular place. And she used to buy shoes where I used to work at. And she didn't steal them. She actually bought them. But long story short, it's kind of crazy. Like, you know somebody and then he did that. It's like, and then her being caught in a scandal, you would think she would just have some accountability. But everyone's entitled to their own doings and dealings. Like, if she doesn't want to be forward and out loud about her accountability, that's just on her. That's not our judgment. I'm learning a lot about judgment, that in order to relieve myself of judgment, I have to not hold judgment against other people. It's just an environment now where things are so hostile right now that the last thing you want is your conscience to be altered by anger, hate, and aggression over things that people are telling you. And they're not factual. Anyways, that was a long rant. Have a good rest of your day, everybody, and I will talk to you later.